Om Jnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave. Often when I go to different places, before speaking anything, I say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Not me too. And because mostly they're all devotees, they chant along with me. So then I say, well, there's nothing else. I only came here to ask you to chant Hare Krishna. You already did it, so there's no need to speak anything. So? But actually there is a need to speak more, and I'll speak about that. We're all engaged here tonight in hearing about chanting. Often we read in Srila Prabhupada's books or in various, especially in the Gauriya Vaishnava literature, how the most important process in devotional service is chanting the holy name. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said that Bhajane Madhya Shreshta Namavidha Bhakti Krishna Prem Krishna Dite Dhare Mahashakti Tar Madhya Sarva Shreshta Nama Sankirtan Niraparade Nam Vaile Pai Prema Dham. That among all the 64 processes of devotional service, the 9 famous ones are most important because they have great potency to give Krishna and love of Krishna. But out of all of them, the most important is Nama Sankirtan, because if one chants the holy name without offenses, then he can very quickly get love of Krishna. Yet elsewhere we find the importance of hearing is very much stressed. These 2 processes are most stressed. And we find in Prahlad Maharaj's listing of the 9 processes, first comes Shravanam and second Kirtanam. There must be at least some Shravanam. Someone has to tell us, chant Hare Krishna. Otherwise we won't know to begin. But actually, to achieve perfection in Kirtan, we have to go on hearing also. Hearing is non-different from chanting. It is essential to chanting. Chanting is incomplete without hearing. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur stated that Shravanam is the Swarup Shakti of Kirtanam. Now this is an extremely profound statement. We know that Srimati Radharani is the Swarup Shakti of Sri Krishna. That means she is, how to express it, she is that which makes Krishna. Sri Krishna is not Krishna without Radha. So in the same way, Kirtan is not really Kirtan unless there's hearing. Name is this that we are chanting. What is our relationship with? And getting back to that statement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if one chants the holy names offenselessly, then he can very quickly get love of God. Now, if we consider what these offenses are, they're all conceptual misunderstanding. They're all due to wrong philosophical understanding. For instance, to equate the demigods with Lord Vishnu is an offense, but we are liable to fall into that trap of thinking the demigods equal to Vishnu unless we hear and it's explained to us how Krishna is superior to all. And unless we have a very clear concept of what is Shuddha Bhakti as distinguished from Mishra Bhakti or distinguished from Karma, Jnana or Yoga, then we're going to consider that chanting of the holy names is like some mundane pious activities, like offering sacrifices, etc. So chanting the holy names, that can very quickly give perfection. But that should be done in the association of pure devotees and under their guidance. Otherwise, that chanting of the holy name actually won't be the holy name. Just like Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj used to say that people who there are paid groups in Bengal who they're paid to chant the holy names. Just like you have rock groups in the West and people go to see them. So because the culture of India is more pious, they pay people to come, expert performers, and they chant Hare Krishna. So it may be somewhat pious, but it's not Shuddha Bhakti. It's a long way from it. So Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj would say they're not chanting Krishna, they're chanting money, money. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in the Jagadananda Pandit gave the Prem Vivarta, and in there he explains, Sadhu Sange by Krishna Nam Nahi Hoy, Nama Kar Bahre Bate Tabu Nam Nahi Kabu Nai. That without the association and guidance of pure devotees, that holy name will not be the holy names actually. That even the sounds of the holy name may be apparently manifest, but that's not Krishna. Once Bhaktivinoda Thakur was visiting various places connected with the Sripat, so the holy place connected with great devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Bengal. Some of his sons... No, it's a generic name for holy places. Connected, particularly those connected with the... So he was with some of his sons, among them was Bimala Prasad, who was later to be known as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. So they'd come from the train station and they were walking towards the village, but it was getting late at night.
Они сошли с поезда, они стали идти пешком по направлению.
Sorry, it was getting late in the day. And in the village areas, once it gets dark, then you don't go on further usually, unless you have someone with a light, an oil lamp who can show you the way. It's too dark, you can't see where you're going or whatever. So they were approaching one Sripat, I can't remember which one it was, but it was towards the evening and they were just outside, and they decided, well, we should halt here. So there weren't really any buildings around, but they saw one empty building and they asked some local people if they could stay there. So they did, and then the next morning after dawn they proceeded towards that place, Memory or someplace like that. So the local people welcomed them and said, well, who are you, where have you come from? So they asked, well, where did you stay last night? And they described the place they'd stayed in just outside the village. He said, well, how could you stay there? That place is haunted. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, yes. Said that shortly after we lay down, all bricks started flying at us. But I chanted Hare Krishna loudly, and then the ghost stopped, and he'll never harm anyone again. He's gone. But the villagers asked that, well, he was the priest in the temple, and he chanted Hare Krishna throughout his life. He became a ghost somehow. Then how did you chant Hare Krishna and send him away? He said, well, that he could have never chanted Hare Krishna, actually. Otherwise he couldn't have become a ghost. If one is sinful, but he chants just to make a show of being pious, that people will respect him, Krishna doesn't manifest and he doesn't accept that, that becomes offensive. But if an actual devotee chants the holy names, then not only will his own sins fly away, but those of others also will, and they'll get love of Krishna. So then he explained that Sadhu Sanga Bhai Krishna nahi hoy, namakar bahire bate tabu naam nahi hoy, that without the proper association and guidance of devotees, that won't actually be chanting. Now this appears to contradict the narration we just heard from the Padma Purana given by Jagatamara. So it may be different in there may be different extenuating circumstances. She wasn't committing any. But the point here is that we have to associate with devotees and hear from them what is the proper process of devotional service so that our chanting can mature. Certainly it is wonderful how the holy name is delivering the whole world. Srila Prabhupada came to the Western countries with nothing. No material, what's the word? No material possessions, or he had no backing of any institution, nothing going for him materially. I mean, people couldn't even understand the way he spoke. His accent was so different to that of New Yorkish. Yeah, he didn't have any material, no organization, no one knew him. Nothing for him going. But as he expressed in his poems that he wrote on the ship, Jaladuta, he had great faith in the order of his spiritual master and the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had great faith in the holy name, and he had great faith in the message of Bhagavatam. He prayed to become a puppet dancing in the hands of Krishna to deliver these assets to the whole world. So with this knowledge of Bhagavatam and the chanting of the holy names, with great faith in Guru, Bhagavat and Krishna, let us execute our devotional service and bring this chanting to Prithivite, what is it? Pridiviti Nagarati, Asamudra Nadanadi, Hoijai Gaurangaranam, as Prabhupada wrote in his poem. So the whole world, in every town and village, in every river, ocean, everywhere, the holy name of Gauranga.